A report came out yesterday. Things just continue to get worse for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, look on the positive side. At least things can't get...
Excuse me, were you going to say worse?
We saw how everything played out in the last couple months of 2023. Not even the media could deny all of the problems that we've seen with the MCU, this big hit piece, crisis at Marvel. And of course, Jonathan Majors ends up being fired. They end up hiring new writers for the 5th Avengers. A lot of things are in flux. A lot of things have been completely scrapped or reshot or rewritten. Captain America 4 is in flux. And now it appears that some people are just straight up noping out of the entire MCU. Remember a couple years ago, Marvel at this big peak, and so many people, if you ask this person, I'd love to be involved in the MCU. I'd love to be involved in the MCU.
You ain't gonna Disney Plus me.
Well, now even people that have been cast in roles are saying, yeah, I'm fucking done. Steven Yeun drops out of playing Sentry in Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts movie. Now, Steven Yeun, Glenn from Walking Dead, probably what he's best known for, what people recognize him for most. He was set to play a race swap version of Sentry. That is no longer happening, and it's also no longer just a rumor. It's being reported by the trades as well. Steven Yeun will not star in Marvel's Thunderbolts. Now, the idea of a Thunderbolts movie, one, who fucking cares about the Thunderbolts, right? This is a movie that it has, again, been delayed. This is the movie that's going to have Florence Pugh's Black Widow. It's going to have Bucky. It's going to have Red Guardian. It's going to have all these characters that really no one's very interested in, all coming together for a big movie. But this is what Sentry is supposed to look like. That is not what Steven Yeun looks like, obviously. But he was tapped to play the character.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
And then all of a sudden, for apparently no reason other than he just didn't want to do it, no hint about schedule or whatever, he just drops out and says, I'm done, before they've even started shooting.
Seems like a sinking ship that people are trying to jump off of, because Marvel has reached a point where it wants, again, I don't know if it's ever made anybody's career, but it's definitely elevated their brand while they were within it. But any long-term success, I don't know. I mean, that we've seen from people that have left it. But now it's to a point where it's truly detrimental. It seems to be detrimental to your career moving forward if you're going to be attached to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the decisions they're making, with the results that you're getting. And I think people are finally getting to the point where they're like, I think it's bad for my career to be attached to this project or this brand because of how it's performing. So it kind of seems like that's the direction we're going now. And as kind of Ryan said in the title, you just have people that are just literally running away from these projects and these properties right now because they're so damn bad. And it's not surprising to see. It's like anything else. If something is bad and it creates negativity for what you're trying to do moving forward. And I think that the way that Marvel treats the fan base, because I think this kind of lingers with actors. Like if you're attached to Marvel and the Marvel brand continues to disrespect the fans, it's almost like that stigma stays with you as an actor, you know, and they're like, I can't get away from this. So I think this is obviously a positive thing. And I just don't know, man. Like, what does Marvel do moving forward? It's the same boat that Disney's in right now. And I don't know the answer to it. Or the same boat that Lucasfilm is in. And I don't know the answer to that question.
Really, like what they should do is just
what they should do is right. What they should do is, I do know the answer to what they should do. Is what will they do though? And I have no idea.
How do you fix it while still making content, you know, and not doing like a 2 or 3 year pause and a break?
Yeah.
And all the things that could help them seem to be years and years away, like Fantastic Four and X-Men and all this shit. And then what do we hear about the X-Men movie? It's going to be all about women. Can't wait. As if you need to say that about an X-Men like movie. There's a bunch of great female characters that are part of the X-Men. Like you could have them there. Like it doesn't have to be female focused.
Well, that's the thing is like it's well. This is why so many fans get aggravated with this, because going back to the X-Men, and the X-Men at one point in time, arguably, I don't even know if it's arguably, I think the X-Men were the biggest group, biggest comic, you know, in the industry, most prominent characters. Wolverine was kind of the king. He was the most popular character, but you had this whole universe of people. And anybody that grew up on X-Men, whether it's comics or, you know, the cartoons or whatever, when you hear this nonsense about diversity, and you're like, well, not that I ever thought about it as a fan, because I didn't, but like you look back on it now because it's such a prominent word, and you're like, well, the X-Men were always diverse as hell. You know what I mean? And that was never really a problem. But then you hear these Marvel executives say, like, we need more diversity in the X-Men. And you're like, what are you talking about?
Here, you might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
It's the same thing as when they said it about Disney Star Wars. And it's just like, well, that's a problem that you don't even recognize it. And that just tells me that you don't really mean what you say, and you don't care about this franchise at its core. So I don't know. It's all broken.
He's out of line, but he's right.